have a lot of physical media to showcase for y'all today, and on top of that, I won a contest recently, courtesy of Blu-ray Dan and Lionsgate Home Entertainment. Blu-ray Dan, if you don't know who the guy is, he's a huge advocate for physical media. He's always doing reviews, showcasing various releases that he gets from various studios. The dude is a class act. And once again, brother, I appreciate it for giving us the opportunity to win this cool PR package from Lionsgate. This was the box right here. It was a box within a box. It even has crow tape. You can't really see it. It's very faint. But everything came inside this box. Starting off with the little stuff, we got some crow buttons. I know a lot of people had a lot of mixed things to say about the Crow remake. I have not seen it. It's a little flyer right there. So that's cool. Got some tattoos. That's fun. But the stuff, for me, I'm an illustrator, a professional illustrator, and this blew me away because I'm like, oh, wow. I can always use stuff to illustrate and to have extra tools at my disposal. That's always a great thing for me. Got some graphite charcoal. That's pretty awesome. And easily the best thing in the whole box was this moleskin sketchbook, and I don't know if I can get it on camera, but it does say the Crow right here. It's a little hard to see. So that was very cool. The last item, though, in the box was this cool shirt. It does say the Crow on there. It has the eyes right in the back of it as well. That's very cool. Just an amazing PR package. I don't ever win anything, so it was pretty awesome to win something. Now we'll get down to the nitty-gritty. Of course, the physical media. From my local video store, CD Exchange. First up is apparently, this is a Christmas movie. I was not aware of this. Trapped in Paradise. This film was a lot of fun. I watched this on, I believe it was Tubi. Why didn't anybody say this is a Christmas film? I didn't know this. I thought it was just like a random, like heist movie, I think, which it kind of is. But, I mean, you got Nick Cage. You have John Lovitz. It stinks. How awkward. Dana Carvey. I mean, you just have this trio of characters as brothers in the film. The movie is just cozy and warm, and it has that classic 90s kind of sleaze to it, but at the same time the humor, and yeah, it's got some plot conveniences, but I don't care. This movie just warmed my heart. And the other two titles were Party Down Seasons 1 and 2. I know a Season 3 aired last year, but of course, like many reasons why so many people are flocking to get physical media, the third season, I don't think will even see the light of day on DVD or Blu-ray. So I want to know what happens next. I genuinely love these characters. I love the comedy of this show. And I guess I'll just continue not knowing what happens in the third season because I don't have many streaming services wherever this could be found. So, oh well. Next up, we're going to go with Half Price Books. This, I have not bought Laserdiscs in quite some time. I had to jump on this one. I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan, and I had to get Ghostbusters 2. This is amazing. This is just too damn cool. It's very minty. It's like new. It's all nice and glossy still. I had to add this to the collection. And going from one horror comedy to the next, I had to get this amazing Abbott and Costello Meet the Monsters collection. The artwork is amazing. It's a nice, sturdy box set. But you got the laser discs and this stuff inside. It's just too damn cool to have passed up. And so happy to add this to my Abbott and Costello collection. And the last of the Half Price Books finds. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, seasons 9 and 10. The later seasons are a little harder to come by from what I understand. The first few seasons were very much put out there for everybody to get. And even some sets got Blu-ray editions, which I hope to find. But 9 and 10 and beyond for sure are only being released on DVD, which is a bummer. I don't know why that is. I don't know why they start getting Blu-ray releases and then they just say, nah, fuck it, just go back to DVD. And that's a bummer, but you know what? I enjoy the show a lot. I have not revisited a lot of it in a while, but there is some classic, just classic debauchery and over-the-top craziness the gang gets themselves into. I love this cast. It's still going, and they're having some crossover with that other show, Abbott Elementary. I've watched the first season of that show, and I know it's great. I need to catch up on that. But again, no streaming services as of right now, really, so I'll watch it eventually, I guess. But anyways, It's Always Sunny, classic show. Next up, I'll showcase the online finds. First up is The Marvels on 4K. I know many people hate this film. Last year, this film got destroyed. But I did see this on Disney Plus when I did have it, and I just thought, why is this film so hated? It's average. It's fun enough. It's classic Marvel filler that we've been seeing as of late. I don't get it. And what's even more astonishing is this release is ridiculously expensive. Maybe they had a very small printing of this film because they know so many people hated it, but I enjoyed it, and I'm happy to add this to my Marvel collection. I know it's the holidays and a lot of things are going on, a lot of businesses and even myself reselling right now and things like that when I can. I get it. Businesses, especially if you have tons of inventory, life happens. When I opened the box to this package, I was just like, oh boy, I really hope this isn't what I think it is in this situation. But thankfully, I got everything taken care of. And it was a simple mix-up, thankfully. And they're going to send me out the actual set that they should have sent me to begin with. And it was supposed to be the entire Harry Potter collection on Blu-ray, the individual artwork sets, which is what I wanted. But they sent me DVD copies. And they told me to just don't worry about it. I'm assuming that means I don't have to send this back. So now I have a whole DVD set of the series. And the last of the eBay finds, and this was something that my brother and I wanted to start watching. He found a way for us to, watch the first episode, but that was really as far as it went. And we both were like, yep, we definitely need to watch this. He's a huge fan of a lot of these old school HBO shows, and this is, of course, like arguably the best HBO show ever made, and that is The Sopranos. This is a beefy box set too. This has got some heft to it. And I know of it, and the first episode we got to watch together, holy shit, that's good. I was hooked. I was just like, wow. I look forward to marathoning this with my brother and checking out this whole show. And the last of my finds for this particular video, found a lot of great stuff that I look forward to revisiting. First up, we will go with, most people think this is a Disney film, but it is not, and that is Anastasia on VHS. And I have not seen this in quite some time. The artwork for the Blu-ray is so bad. It's terrible. I can't justify buying it. It's such a cookie cutter looking cover, and there's some movies where I genuinely don't buy them because the artwork is so shit. But this is an iconic cover. I remember enjoying this movie as a kid growing up. It withstood the test of time for many reasons because a lot of people thought this was like a Disney princess. Wait a minute. This is owned by Fox. Disney owns Fox now. So does that mean she technically is a Disney princess now? Have the turntables. But also, I already own the sequel as well, or not the sequel, but like the spin-off, with the little bad Bartok there. He always has a bunch of stuff going on over there. But Hank Azaria is one of my favorite voice actors, and he just has a fun presence, kind of like an Iago and Aladdin and all that stuff. So that's always fun. Going from that to the Powerpuff Girls movie, bit of a jump. But I never saw this in its entirety. I remember seeing bits and pieces on Cartoon Network growing up. I remember it going to theaters, but I never got to see it in theaters. And I did watch Powerpuff Girls here or there. The Cartoon Friday lineup was immaculate television. And, of course, Mojo Jojo is great. A great villain. And the last of the VHS was Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis and Scared Stiff. I always want to see a lot of these old school horror comedies, hence like Abbott and Costello stuff that I showcased earlier. Earlier this year also I got the Bob Hope movie Ghost Breakers, so I look forward to watching some more of these titles from back in the day. Now we get to the Blu-rays. This is always fun. I got 101 Dalmatians 2 with the slipcover and everything, and this is a very underrated sequel, if you ask me. Out of all the infinite amounts of Disney sequels out in the world, this is one of the few that you should watch because it genuinely matches the tone of the original animated film. It actually is a nice little heartwarming coming-of-age little story for the main character, Patch. And the voice acting performances, despite being completely different actors and a different Going from the 1960s all the way to the early 2000s when this was made, visually it looks great. The performances actually match very well, and it's shockingly good. Last of the Blu-rays, not just season 1, but season 2 and season 3 of FX's show The League. But this show was a kind of a cult classic, and my brother and I quote it from time to time. Sadly, once again, like I mentioned earlier, some of these damn companies, they only release certain seasons on Blu-ray, then they stop, and then they just release the rest on DVD. As a physical media collector, that pisses me off and frustrates me so much, and it just doesn't look great on the shelf, you know? And onto the DVDs, we got United States of Tara, and this show lasted for 3 seasons, and it's an interesting show with Toni Collette giving a great performance, or several performances, because she is a woman who deals with having a dissociative identity disorder. So a heavy psychological show with comedy and drama mixed in there. So I really recommend it if you like that kind of stuff. Really great cast and really underrated show. And I wanted to end on comedy. I'm a fan of impressions, and I've always loved various comedians that can do impressions and all these other things. Voice acting and all these things are just such a big part of my life. I was that weird kid that actually paid attention to the credits of animated shows, and I would pay attention to that. Or I also grew up with a lot of the Comedy Central stuff. The Comedy Central Presents lineup of things, you know, back when Comedy Central was the shit, and it would have all these great comedians and having their uncensored specials air at midnight and stuff was the coolest shit. My brother and I would love to watch. When we lived with our aunt and uncle at the time, they had cable, so our minds were blown just to watch certain shows and things like that were uncensored on television. It's one of those things, though, where I took that for granted, because Comedy Central, for the most part, back in the 2000s, they really, really put a lot of their catalog titles out there. Whether it was TV shows, comedian stand-up specials, they put it out there. And some of them are a little harder to come by. But nowadays, as far as like certain movies not getting released, that's already frustrating enough. But I've noticed this is kind of a blind spot that I don't think a lot of people talk about, is no comedian puts out their specials on physical media anymore. That bothers me, because I just thought about it. I'm like, oh no. If I want to watch certain specials, I have to have Netflix. I have to have Hulu or whatever specials that they put on various streaming services. I don't know what's up with that. I know some comedians, depending who they are, put out vinyl, but fuck that shit. I want the actual special. I want to see it. I want to have it in my hands. So, rant aside, I haven't heard her do much in a very long time, but she was a huge staple in the 90s and early 2000s, and that is Tracy Ullman. And HBO, this was an HBO special here. HBO too, I mean, huge game changer with comedy specials also. And that bums me out that they don't really have really many specials anymore, because again, Netflix has them all, and that pisses me off. And these aren't quite specials, but they are, like, again, Comedy Central adjacent. You got Martin Short as the character Jiminy Glick in The Best of Primetime Glick. It's basically a talk show, but a parody of one. And you have him as this character interviewing all these comedians and stars from the time. And I just love this character. He's so ridiculous. Even like earlier this year when he hosted the Jimmy Kimmel Show, Martin Short portrayed this character again. And I just like how he does it. He just kind of goes in and out in the over-the-top crazy character. It's just looking at the camera and just going, wow. He goes crazy and he's kind of going all over the place, and I just really just don't even understand what's happening, but he just does this. And the character's funny to me. I don't know. I'm not doing it justice. But he's really over the top and funny. I don't know. I just really love it. And then he even had a film. I forgot about this. I have not seen the film. I remember seeing bits of the show. But Jiminy Glick and Lala Wood. I'm looking forward to checking this one out, because I would imagine it's just as fun as the show. And the last of today's showcase on the Comedy Central roast, particularly of Pamela Anderson. Comedy Central was the it place to see the roasts of all these various celebrities over the years. I look forward to finding a few more of them. So I look forward to adding more to my stand-up comedy and Comedy Central HBO collections and things like that. But that'll do it, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the holiday season. Look forward to making a couple more videos before the end of the year, that's for certain. And take care and be kind.